Hello.
Hello.
Hello, nice to meet you, Wayne.
Nice to meet you, Don.
Can you introduce yourself first?
Yes, I'm Wayne Morgan. I'm a member of Citizens Climate Lobby, the Ventura County chapter, and I'm a member. And I also am a big climate advocate.
Oh, okay.
I'm a member of many climate groups.
Okay, I see.
In Ventura.
So we'll start with, do you own any EVs?
Yes, I do. Actually, I owned my first EV in 2012. I wanted to try it out. Yeah, it was a Ford Focus Electric. It was just a small EV that would get about 60 miles range. And that was kind of my training car. And then in 2014, I bought a Tesla Model S. And so I then only owned electric vehicles, and from then on, I've only driven electric vehicles. And now we have two Teslas, one Model Y and one Model 3.
What was the motivation that got you into driving EV rather than the old traditional gasoline cars?
Well, I'm very interested in doing something to help the climate.
Okay.
And getting an EV was a logical choice for me. Also, I'm an electrical engineer, electronics engineer, and I have solar panels on my house, and so I thought, why not use the solar to power the car? So that's what I've been doing since then.
So a lot of people hesitate to purchase EVs because there are some misconceptions that comes with driving EVs. Do you want to share some misconceptions that you hear from other people, and do you have any opinions that can debunk those misconceptions about EVs?
Oh yeah. So way back when the first EVs came out, the charging networks, the fast charging networks were not really built out very much. So it was very difficult to take long road trips. But now, Tesla in particular has a huge network of fast chargers where you can just drive into a charging station, and within 20 minutes, you're ready to go on your way for another 2.5 hours. So my wife and I, when we've taken the trip, we drive a couple hours and then we take a stop, get a drink, or maybe have lunch, charge the car up, and then go for another 2-3 hours and do the same. And for my age, 2-3 hours, it's ready to take a break.
Right.
So I don't really find it that inconvenient. But the convenient thing is when I'm home, I have a charger in my garage, and I can just plug the car into the garage charger, and I don't have to worry about going to gas stations, which I never really enjoyed when I had a gasoline-powered car. So that's a big advantage for me. I just plug it in at home and I'm ready to go. And it'll charge overnight, no problem.
Right. That's another way to look at it. You don't really need to go to the gas station, but at the same time, on the road trip, you can take a break every 2-3 hours to charge your vehicle with fast chargers.
Right. So I figure I actually save more time, personal time, because I'm charging at home and not having to wait in line and all that other stuff. Because you just plug it in, and you can walk away. And that's the same at the superchargers. So you can just plug the car in and go eat and come back. You don't have to stay around at the car. So you can take your break while the car is charging. So works fine.
That's good to hear. And now let's hear about what your group is, the Citizens Climate Lobby here.
Yeah, the Citizens Climate Lobby. Yeah, we're a national group, and our main focus is advocating for national legislation to help mitigate and adapt to the changing climate. And they have national meetings once a month, and we have our county meeting once a month, and they usually have guest speakers, which are very interesting and motivating. And for local activities, the Citizens Climate Lobby here, booths at events like this. We're trying to inform the public of what can be done to help reduce their climate emissions, gas emissions that would help the climate. And also, we sponsor certain events. Last January, we had a notification event where we had guest speakers coming in and just educating the public about all different aspects of how they can electrify their home in cost-effective ways. So it's, education is really important to us, and that was one way of getting people that information that they need. And people don't know that there are a lot of rebates and there are a lot of equipment out there now that is amenable to electrifying, like water heaters. Now you can replace your gas water heater with an electric water heater that you just plug into the wall. You don't have to rewire your house in order to get an electric water heater. So things like that are important, I think, for people to know. And there's many devices coming on market now that are going to help us out in the future.
Do you guys do any like involvement with like pushing the agenda for adopting EVs, electric vehicles, or have you talked to politicians about pushing how they can push for adoption of the EVs?
Yes, we lobby. I mean, that's in our name, Citizens Climate Lobby.
Yeah.
So we lobby. We have trips to Washington, D.C., where we have a lobby day where we try to talk to as many lobbyists as we can about certain bills that are up for the legislature. Mm-hmm. And we also work with our local legislators, the California senators and the assembly members, to talk about some of the bills that we think are important. And in this last session, we were highly supporting a bill which was SB 1006, and that was a bill that was called reconductoring. And so what that bill was about was having the utilities examine the feasibility of rewiring their utility transmission lines with an up-to-date cable, which will allow much more capacity. And the newer cables actually are really interesting in a way because they don't sag as much in the heat. So sagging was one issue that was responsible for fires, starting wildfires. So if they go back and put in these wires that are higher performance, not only do you get more capacity and possibly not have to have more transmission lines built, but you also have the possibility of not starting wildfires. So it was a win-win bill, in my opinion, and it was signed into law just last month. So,
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was
great. So, do you guys have anything that supports, like, do you guys do any work that supports directly related to the EV market?
Yes, sure. We have a lot of information about some of the rebates that are available for new EVs, and also a lot of people don't realize that there are incentives and rebates for used EVs. So, a lot of times you can pick up a used EV at a very reasonable price. And the battery technology these days is such that I would have no problems about buying a used EV because the batteries are not going to be a big issue. And
they're coming up with better and better batteries every year.
Yeah, but I mean the batteries right now are pretty good. So they're only going to get even super better later on.
Right.
And one of the ways they're going to get super better is the charging times are going to come way down. But right now, a lot of the vehicles don't charge up as fast, and a lot of the chargers aren't equipped to charge them up as they will be able to charge them like 6 minutes. And that's really fast. That takes a lot of power. So I mean that's what is being worked on. And but right now, 20 minutes a charge is fine for me. So.
You can just have a coffee break.
Just have a coffee break. But we have all that information. In our boothing events here, we have information on those rebates, and also the Inflation Reduction Act had a lot of tax credits that are available for EVs, and also improvements in your home as far as electrification and insulation, etc. There are rebates that are in the IRA that are becoming available now. I think there's been a long delay, but these rebates are available to people that don't necessarily have tax liabilities where they can take advantage of tax credits. So that's really important for people who are not making as much money that they get an advantage of having a tax credit. So I'm really excited about that because that's going to open up EVs and home improvement to a lot of people that right now can't afford it.
That's a great insight.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being interviewed today, Wayne.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, and I hope you guys have a good show here.
Thank you.